Hey everybody, it's Rebecca. It's Friday and it's the Revenue Rundown. So this is our weekly experiment that we're doing through the tax season. I'm super excited because today we have our first guest who's not a member of staff of the Department of Revenue. So I've got Dr. Wayne Williams here from the Temple University Fox School of Business. He's an assistant professor there. We're going to be talking about the Earned Income Tax Credit with him. Super important program for Philadelphia and for Philadelphians. But before we get to that, I just have a couple of really quick announcements. Number one, real estate taxes were due March 31st. If you haven't paid, we've got a really great blog post up right now at phila.gov/revenue talking about some of your options to get into compliance. You know, if you can't pay, there are a lot of programs and we want to make sure that people get enrolled in the stuff that they are eligible for. So please reach out to us. Also, this is the last week coming up, is the last week for extended hours. So that means that, so April 15th, we all know, is the big tax federal deadline that your federal income tax is due, but also your, some business taxes and some other taxes here at the city. So we have extended hours in that time. So Monday through Thursday from 8:30 till 7, we are open here at the Center City Municipal Services building. If you come in after 5 o'clock or you call us after 5 o'clock, the wait times are super short, just a couple of minutes. So that's a great time. If you still have questions, call us after 5 o'clock. Also, this coming tomorrow and also the next coming Saturday are our last extended hours on Saturday. So we'll be open from 10 until 2 here at the Municipal Services building here in Center City. So if you have questions or you need any help or assistance in person, that's a great time to do it. Like I said, the wait times are much, much shorter. Also, it's spring shut off. So, we don't shut off water in the wintertime. It's detrimental to folks' health. It could be a public health problem.
Sure.
That being said, that means sometimes people get themselves into a bit of a jam. They've got some bills that they haven't paid or multiple months that they haven't paid.
Right.
There are payment plans. Come on in, get into a program. You might qualify for an assistance program that you didn't realize that you did, even if you have a medical hardship. So make sure that you come on in, give us a call, check everything out at phila.gov/revenue, and always check out our blog. We've got a lot of really, really good information.
Nice.
So, okay, now I invited Dr. Williams here to talk about the Earned Income Tax Credit, or EITC for short. It's a really important program, and Dr. Williams is going to help us get through that. But one thing I just wanted to let folks know. So you're an assistant professor at Temple.
Yes.
You were
Fox School of Business.
You were formerly at the community college doing entrepreneurship stuff and a lot of other cool stuff.
CCP, absolutely.
But the other big thing that you are is a big volunteer. You volunteer to help prepare folks' tax returns.
Absolutely. Probably done that for over the past decade throughout the city and in the region. Yeah.
So you're kind of the perfect person to talk to about the Earned Income Tax Credit. You know the code inside and out, and you understand the program. So that's one of the reasons we brought him in. He's also a member of our advisory committee, so we thank you so much for all the work that you do for us.
Pleasure.
Tons of help, and we really appreciate all of your feedback and all the wisdom that you've shared with us.
Thank you.
So first of all, why should Philadelphians even care about the EITC?
Philadelphians really should care about the EITC because it helps to grow Philadelphia's economy.
Yeah.
So the Earned Income Tax Credit is a refundable tax credit. It comes back to an individual who is eligible for the EITC. What that does is put more money into the pockets of that resident. Mm-hmm. That money in that resident's pocket means that they can afford more goods and services.
Right.
More goods and services means that that's job creation that addresses some of the unemployment here in the city. And guess what? When people are at work, the economy does better.
That's right.
Philadelphia should care about the EITC.
And the fact of the matter is that about 188,000 Philadelphians take advantage of it.
Excellent.
And it's up to $6,400 kind of back into your paycheck, depending on your status. But there's like 50,000 that we estimate are eligible, and they don't even apply. So they're leaving money on the table.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. So of that 50,000, on average, it's about $2,573 per person.
But who's counting?
Who's counting, right? But that translates into $131 million of federal refundable credits that don't come back to the city of Philadelphia.
Right, that the city's missing out on.
So we really need to pay attention to this issue. With the support of the city, we're trying to get people to file. not filing their tax return. And I know this, people think of taxes like going to the dentist, right? And so the refund is like the lollipop at the end, right? So yeah, it takes a little bit of time out of your day. It feels like a bad situation because you think you have to pay taxes, but the earned income tax credit actually is a refund that most individuals under the income range of $54,000 if they have dependents, under $25,000 if they have no dependents and they're married. So, that's a lot of Philadelphians. The median income here in Philadelphia is below $50,000. So lots of people who are eligible for the EITC, we want you to file your taxes.
So how could I find out more about if I qualify?
Oh, that's easy. YouEarnedItPhilly.com, right?
Yeah.
YouEarnedItPhilly.com, right? So, yeah. So You Earned It, YouEarnedItPhilly.com is a great website, has all the resources, has all of the sites where there are free tax preparation.
Right.
All the eligibility requirements are there. So lots of good information. Pretty user-friendly. So, yep, you should go there.
And you don't have to be married, or you don't have to have kids. You can be single. It's a wide range of folks. So definitely go check it out. Go see. There's the information's easy to read. It's clear. And you mentioned that there are free tax preparation sites. Do you want to talk a little bit more about those? They're kind of across the city.
There's probably a tax preparation site in every neighborhood.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so let's talk about that eligibility, right? Because that's an important element, right? So who is eligible for the earned income tax credit? You have to be between age 25. So if you're below 25, you may be in school anyway, right here in Philadelphia, but you cannot come to the site by yourself.
Okay.
If you're in school and you're dependent of a parent, then that parent can come and include that dependent on their tax return. You have to be below age 65. So there are some efforts to focus in on seniors that are more advanced in age, but the earned income tax credit only affects individuals between 25 and 65 because it's earned income. So when you're in retirement, that is unearned income.
Right.
The other criteria is income guidelines. So that is one of the criteria, is the income guidelines. So make sure that you go on YouEarnedItPhilly.com, take a look at your situation depending on whether you have a dependent or not, and you'll find out whether or not you meet those income guidelines. And if so, you're eligible to go to one of the tax preparation sites around the city. And so there are about 20 of them that are supported
like 23,
by the city. Yeah.
And there's some that can support Spanish language. So if English is not a first language, they can still help you in Spanish.
Fantastic. Yep.
It's like 4 of them or so.
You've got both the Pathways PA program and the Campaign for Working Families program with lots and lots of volunteer preparers across the city of Philadelphia.
Just like you.
Right? So absolutely. So yeah, absolutely. You want to get involved if you can.
So what documents would I need to bring?
So yes, that's the most important point, right?
It's a big one.
So make sure you look on the website because they're listed there. But definitely you have to have your Social Security card because we want to make sure that we get your right Social Security number and not one that's committed to memory. So we have to have that. Driver's license is a new one. Mm-hmm. So because of identity theft, we're asking for the driver's license. So if you do have a driver or non-driver identification, please bring that as well. The date of birth. So dates of birth for everybody who's involved. So all the dates of birth for anybody you're going to claim on the tax return, that's who you should bring.
And Social Security cards for everyone that you might be claiming.
Absolutely.
Right.
Now let's get down to the tax forms, right? So we need your income documents. So your W-2, any 1099. Let's assume that you have employment, but you're not getting a W-2. So maybe you are in rideshare, for instance.
Okay, like you're a driver
1099 miscellaneous, or you're doing something with behavioral health in the schools and you're a TSS worker and you get a 1099. You still are eligible. Bring that form along with you. If you're in retirement, 1099R, your pension, your SSA 1099 for Social Security, those are all income sources. So if you got something from the bank, which records your interest, if you got something from maybe an investment or a mutual fund and a dividend, any of those forms that you receive that says important tax information on the outside of the envelope, you want to bring them. Important for you to bring last year's tax return.
Right.
You want to be able to compare, what you brought to the site to what you had in the past. So if you have a copy of your last year tax return, that's also extremely important.
And it's a good idea to just put all that stuff in an envelope and kind of keep it in one spot.
Absolutely.
Next year, you're going to grab that envelope and go. Put it in a
process,
drawer.
Right.
Yeah.
So expenses, if you have expenses, the site can help you figure out whether or not those expenses are good. So your real estate taxes that you paid, they may be eligible. Any mortgage interest you might have. Let's assume you paid tuition, Rebecca.
Yes.
So you may have to go onto the site where either you went to school or your dependent went to school, and it's a Form 1098-T as in tuition. That form, you can print it right off. Now, a lot of times they don't send it out, but it may make you eligible for some tax credits that are very powerful. So the AOTC, and which is the learning credit, as well as the lifetime learning credit. Those two are very important as well. So tuition is another item. Let me see. What else did I not mention?
You would want to bring your proof that you have health care, right? Like you'd want to bring, there's that document that shows. That
is a big one, right?
Yeah.
So that's usually the last thing we ask you is, did you have,
health insurance?
Health insurance.
Yeah.
So the form is 1095A. So 1095A.
And typically that's mailed to you.
It's mailed to you.
You get it.
So you have it. It's in your possession. You probably stuck it over there with all the rest of the papers, right? So, yeah. So the 1095A, yep, because we're going to ask you that one.
Right. Dig that out. And I think I just have one more question, and I think this is a federal program. Right. So why does the city necessarily care? I know we talked about the economic benefit, but why are we promoting this program so hard?
So, literally there is new legislation, right, that was passed under Mayor Kenny by City Council. So, Section 19-4000 is the Income Inequality Initiative. And that Income Inequality Initiative is the Earned Income Tax Credit. So, one reason we care is because it's the law, right? And Commissioner Frank Breslin has testified annually before City Council to give an update on how well we're doing with the EITC program. And as a matter of fact, employers in the region have participated, and they're cooperating. They're putting notices inside of all of the W-2s that are mailed out to their employees about the advanced earned income tax credit, and also about the earned income tax credit to the employees that are work and most of the major institutions and large employers and the unions. So thank you to all of the unions and major institutions who are letting their employees know about the EITC.
And that's a really good segue, because if you are a business and you have your email address on file with us, we send out a notification that you can give to your employees. In fact, it's the law that you should be giving it to your employees, but we provide that to you. You can email it to them, you can print it if you want, but you get a digital copy. It's always online as well, but we will send that directly to employers if we have your email address on file and you have a wage tax account with the city. Sure. So make sure that those points of contact are up to date with the Department of Revenue.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to also address is sometimes I know that people are concerned, who's going to do my tax return if I go to one of these sites? So there's I'm going to give you the pro and the con, right? Okay. Here's the pro. These are volunteers, and I will tell you, some of them are super committed, and they really like to help people. So the level of commitment is huge. All the volunteers have to go through a training. They're IRS trained, So there are IRS certified volunteers. So you have to pass an exam in order to participate as a volunteer. So if you don't pass the exam, you can't be a preparer in the program. So that's very important. Here's the other side of it, though. Sometimes people don't read the eligibility requirements. Then they come to the site, and then they get frustrated because the IRS certified volunteer may only have the ability to prepare a return that's but so complex.
Sure.
And so I want people to know, make sure you look to see at youearneditphilly.com, do you meet those requirements? And the other side of that is, we don't want people preparing returns that they don't know how to do.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
And so when you're at the site, if they tell you this is beyond the scope of our ability, it's not something you should get frustrated at. They're literally being honest. And so one of the things about the volunteers is under Form 13615 in the IRS, that is the volunteer standard of conduct. And so that volunteer standard of conduct conduct says that we should be honest in the way that we help people out. So, so that being said, you think you're eligible, come on down to the site. We're here to help people, and so we welcome everyone, and we want to make Philadelphia a better place.
Thank you. That's really good advice, and I'm glad you brought up that last point. YouEarnedItPhilly.com. We said it about 400 times, but we'll also...
Earned it. You earned it Philly.com. Yeah, one more time.
We will put it in the comments for this live, and it's a great resource. It's also translatable into 8 different languages. So if English is not a first language, there are a lot of options there. And I want to thank you so much for coming to talk to us today.
Thank you, Rebecca.
I've got a couple more announcements, so we'll just sit tight for just a second.
Sure, no problem.
I am hopeful that everyone takes advantage of some of this information, but before we go, I want to make sure that we mention some of the places that we're going to be this upcoming week. We visit over 200 community events every year, and I just want to give a shout out and let folks know where we're going to be. This Saturday is a big Saturday. We're going to be at the Sayer Health Fair in West Philadelphia. We're also going to be at UpAM in West Kensington, and we'll be at the National Council of Negro Women up in North Philadelphia. On Monday, we will be at the UNC3 meeting in East Oak Lane. And on Tuesday, the Councilman Darrell Clark's home ownership workshop will be there, and that's in Hunting Park. If you want details, go ahead and contact Councilman Clark's office, Council President, I should say. And Wednesday, April 10th, we are going to Councilwoman Sherelle Parker's town hall meeting. That's in the lower northeast. And that same night, we'll be at GPAS Neighborhood Action Committee and their service area briefing, and that's up in Olney. Friday, we'll be at the St. Charles Health Fair in South Philadelphia. Okay. And again, if you want us to come to your event, your community event, your business event, if you want us to talk about any of this stuff, reach out to Vicki Riley. It's vicki.riley at phila.gov, and we'll get you on the calendar. I mean, we're almost done with this tax season, but that doesn't mean that we don't do stuff all through the summer, all through the fall. Our tax season calendar fills up a lot. Like I said, over 200 events a year, and we're on track to exceed that. Last Saturday, we're at 5 different places at once. So we are out there. We want to help you understand what help is out there to help you. So, okay, next week we've got Commissioner Breslin. It is our last Facebook Live for the year. We're super excited. So we're culminating with the commissioner. He's going to be answering any of your questions. If you have questions for the commissioner, go ahead and put them in the comments right here. Send them to us in email. You can email those to Vicki if you want, or you can send them to us on Twitter. Nice. We're super excited. The tax season is almost over, but so we'll be closing the book on that one. But join us next week and have a great weekend.
See you, everybody.
Bye.